I'm here at the National Governors Association winter meeting in the nation's capital, where governors from around the country are here discussing the most important issues impacting their states.
We got a great crowd. We got 46, our largest crowd ever, so we're pretty jacked up. Got a lot of issues.
There are a lot of issues,
Yeah.
and that was what I wanted to ask you about. What would you say is number one or two, the top two issues that you want to see the federal government help the state of Virginia right now?
Well, my biggest issue right now is health care and what they're going to do if you do eliminate the ACA. I lose $200 million a year. So that's my biggest concern. What are we going to do? If you're talking about block grants, I told Speaker Ryan I'm open to any discussion. What's the per cap rate? We just don't know anything, and we don't know how much we're going to get. So I'm open. Whatever we can do to make it the most efficient healthcare system, low cost, everybody gets quality care. That's what we all want to do, and we need to be partners because we administer our Medicaid programs in our states.
Is there anything in a replacement plan that you would support in terms of a fix to the current system right now?
The House came out with their proposal yesterday. John Kasich came out and said it's a non-starter, so I will follow the lead of Governor Kasich.
Now,
if John's not happy with it, I doubt I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of concern too about the exchanges and the premiums right now.
Here's the problem the president's having. It was nice rhetoric on the campaign trail to say day one Obamacare is gone. Nice rhetoric. Rhetoric has now met reality of governing. And I think the Republicans in the Congress have realized it's not as easy to throw 18 million people out with no health care who now have health care. It's a hard thing to do. So I think they're having a very difficult time trying to figure out how they do it. And they got to figure that out. We want to be part of that process. I told the Speaker I'm open, willing to work with anybody at any time. But, I don't want less care. I don't want people losing their health care. I can tell you that much. I don't have a healthy workforce. I can't create jobs if I don't have a great, healthy workforce.
I wanted to also ask you about President Trump saying he wants to cut federal funding for sanctuary cities. What's your position on that issue? What would you encourage cities and towns in Virginia to do?
Well, first of all, we're a Dillon Rule state, so it really doesn't apply to us as it does other states. I had three bills that I'm vetoing from the legislature on this. I am not using my local law enforcement as federal ICE officers. They're busy. And the head of my sheriffs, our state troopers, I'm in constant discussion. They don't want this. They're busy. They're doing their job. They are not trained, nor do they have the time to go become federal ICE officers. We're just not going to allow it in Virginia.
Should they report every crime that's committed by an undocumented immigrant?
Listen, I am all for coordination on are there issues of information about people. I have no problems with that. If someone is stopped, to pass that information on. I never have had a problem with that. But we're not turning them into ICE officers.
Now, also I wanted to ask you about the sanctuary cities issue. Trump wants to pull funding from cities. Denver would be affected. What do you think about that? Are you going to continue to allow those cities, like Denver and Aurora, to be sanctuary cities?
Well, these are home rule cities, so the state doesn't control how they do their public safety. And there are Supreme Court cases that have come out strongly. Justice Scalia, strong opinion saying that the federal government cannot compel local municipalities to participate in federal programs such as immigration enforcement. So these cities, I think the key to recognize is that Denver, if someone's a criminal, right, if they've committed a violent crime, they're a member of a gang or something like that, and they don't have papers, not only do they arrest them, they do detain them, they inform ICE, and then they work aggressively to make sure they're deported. So the criminals that we should be focusing on are being focused on. So the question really is, who's the next level? Who is the federal government asking us to go after, go into their homes, remove these, break up families? I mean, that's a very disruptive thing for a community, and the relationship between low-income communities and the police force, their local police force, that's a very important relationship. That's how they catch bad guys, is informants. And informants, if they don't trust the police, they're not going to, even if they were an eyewitness to a crime, they'll be less likely to come forward and give that evidence. That's a bad situation, right? So our focus, we want to make sure that our cities are more safe, not less.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Nicholas Balassi.